It is time once again for the weekly and this time monthly closes of our favorite Bitcoin miners. Let's get right into the action here with CleanSpark. So this is the weekly for CleanSpark. This week we were down 9.35%. That's not ideal. Bit of a, I would call it a shooting star if the body weren't so long. It's got that wick on top. You can see we've got a good amount of selling pressure here at 13.24 on the weekly. If so, any venturing we see in the price up to that level here in the near term, we could see it coming right back down to, you know, that 12 and lower level on the weekly. But there is some good out of this chart here. You can see that the average force here is starting to get weaker to the downside and hopefully is strengthening to the upside. So once it starts turning yellow over there, that'll be pretty good for us. But just the fact that it is getting smaller on the negative side here is a good sign. You can also see that the momentum ribbons, you've got yellow on green right now. Now it is looking like the yellow is largely sideways right now, so is the green, but the yellow is kind of doing a pinch there. But let's oops, not like that. We want to do this, come in here, and we'll hide the yellow. You can see that's green and widening on the slow, and on the fast it's actually kind of pinching here. And usually when you get a pinch like here or here, you get a little bit of a move up. Boop. And sometimes it's not a huge move up, but sometimes it is quite large. So we are looking for something like a move in the range. I think we're going to get stuck in a range right now on CleanSpark until Bitcoin starts to hold above new all-time highs. I think we're going to continue to see it get stuck in this range between about 13.30 something and, you know, about $10 here until it breaks out. When it breaks out, it's going to be quite fantastic. It's going to be one of those risk happens fast sort of scenarios. And like I've said before, and of course nothing I say is financial advice or a suggestion to buy, sell, or hold any asset whatsoever. I am buying all these dips. Every dip I am buying right now. And I'm looking for an inverted head and shoulders to play out on CleanSpark just like this. And I'm looking for that inverted head and shoulders to take me through this trend line right here. Actually kind of make it a trend line by hitting it a third time and take me right back up to $16 to $18. And I'm expecting that to happen pretty fast. And perhaps if we get more of a blow-off scenario, I'd be looking for CleanSpark to venture back into the mid-20s. That's what I'm looking for on this right now for the Christmas season. I am looking for, if we turn this on and we turn off the drawings here, I'm looking for CleanSpark to come to the top ATR band, which is around $19-ish. It's 1876. And then I'm looking for it to potentially, on the high, find its way up to at least the bottom of the fib cloud, which is currently at 25.92. If things go really well, I'm looking for it to get into the maroon color of the fib cloud, which is up at 29 something dollars up to 34.66. Basically, anything above like 1870, 1850-ish, anything above 1850, I'm looking for weakness to see if that's the top. What I'd really like to see is for this thing to come back and outdo the March high, which is at 24.92 for the Christmas rally. The only thing I can see holding this back potentially would be some of that dilution coming through or some other kind of FUD, or if for some reason Bitcoin does not perform. Let's take a look at Bit Digital. All right, Bit Digital on the weekly. All right, Bit Digital weekly. Exact same candle as CleanSpark. Exact same candle. I don't like that. But what I do like is you see here on the average force, it is growing bigger on the yellow. That's great. That means that this is probably going to end up being a bull flag. Okay, that's great. We can see that the momentum here, ribbons, you've got the slow is big and wide and still pointing up. You can see that the fast is actually pinching right now. Let's go ahead and turn off the slow so we can only see the fast right here. You can see it's going to pinch. And if that starts opening up again like it is back here, and that was on to the downside, that would suck if it did that. And here, you can see that it went up a significant amount after each one, not like a ton. Well, let's see what the last one was here. We went from a bottom of, what is it right here? We went up about 57, 58%. And the very last time we had that pinch into a yellow move. If it turns pink again, if it pinches and then turns pink again, then yeah, we're coming down lower. But if it pinches and turns yellow, we're going up. And if we go up right now, 60% from where we currently are, that would take us to about 575 almost $6. And if we're going to hit 575, why not $6? A nice round number for the algos to slap us into. So I wouldn't be too surprised by that at all. So I'm looking for rips into Christmas for Bit Digital. And my targets are this line here. See this line up there? Right there around Christmas time, that would be something like 616, maybe a little higher up to, I don't think it's going to go that high. Let's go to the 3-day for you, me to show you how high I think it actually is going to go. Nope, that's not high enough, but it does look nice. I'd be looking for it to take out this high anyways. 525 minimum. I'd probably be looking for like maybe $7-8 on Bit Digital for Christmas if it is to give us like a nice big move like it did last halving. Okay, the monthly is charging up. I like it to a certain extent. I don't love it. So we're holding above the 5 on the monthly. That's really good. We're in a very solid uptrend on Bit Digital right now, ever since we turned around on May 1st, right? In May. So May, June, July, those were on up. And then we got nice long wicks on bottom, driving us back up above the 5. And we're holding above the 5 right now. The 200 month SMA is all the way up at $5.20. Okay. We went last time we had a jump in December 2023, we went above that. So I would not be surprised to see us at least wick above that, which would take us to about $6. I'm thinking in a wild bull case, like things are getting real hot this Christmas, I would be looking at the top ATR band on the monthly here, which is all the way up at $7.77. That's kind of where I'm looking for the Christmas run on Bit Digital. I would really like to see it hit the top ATR band here. It probably wouldn't last there very long, but I would be excited to see it hit that. And I would not be surprised if it were to do so, especially if Ethereum were to take off. I also like that on the monthly we are growing on the average force, and that we've got green on yellow on the momentum ribbons. The only thing I don't like is that the slow one is kind of pinned in oversold territory, which means that the fast can come back down there pretty easily, which would send us driving, which send us driving all the way back down to like $2 if it were to, if the fast ribbon were to turn pink again, we could see ourselves come quickly down to $2 on Bit Digital. So there is a threat there for Bit Digital overall. All right, that's Bit Digital. Let's move on to Bitfarms. Okay, Bitfarms. How's Bitfarms doing? This is a bad candle. This is a really, really bad candle. Okay, a couple of things that I really, really hate about this chart right now on the weekly. We came up to the 200 week and rejected, and we didn't just reject, rejected hard. Now this looks very similar to all the other candles, but here's a big difference here on this candle that we're looking at. Let me turn off all these so we can look at these. This candle is a shooting star. That's a shooting star candle. That is a very negative candle that we're looking at right now. Okay, it could be an inverted hammer. Yes. Inverted hammer, bottom of the move. You could say hammer at the bottom of the move, bullish, maybe. But the fact that we got so beat down after we came up and then just got absolutely slammed back down, tiny little body, long wick on top. I'm looking at a candle like this right here, right from July 15th, 2024, where we fell off of. I'm looking at a candle like this, June 17th, where we fell right off of it. I'd be very interested in what next week is going to bring for Bit Digital. Is there some kind of news on the horizon that we don't know about yet to print such a disgusting candle? Because that is bad. That is a bad candle. I do not like that candle. Let's look at the monthly on this bad boy. Please be less bad. It's not. It's not less bad. This is also not great. Not great. So we got a two doji candles followed by another bit of a shooting star there. Now it's at the bottom of the move, so it's not the worst thing in the world. But again, like we said, we've established that Bitfarms does not have the best track record with, candles with little red bodies on bottom and wicks on top. Okay, it doesn't have a great track record of that particular candle. And on the monthly, again, 171 would be a good place. But I wouldn't be surprised to see these two right here. Might come down, back down, tap that 166, and then find ourselves coming back up. So we might not even hit 145 because there's decent. That would be like the last stand of support on the monthly if we were to get down there. So watch that. Bitfarms is not printing good candles right now. It's just not printing good candles right now. It doesn't mean it's going to be printing bad candles forever, but right now it looks like there is either more pain / flatness ahead for Bitfarms just based on how the chart looks and how it's playing out. Now that could be turned right around if they come out with amazing news or there's some huge development in the company. Yeah, that could be undone in an instant, honestly. We see, but there are some things I don't like here, right? Opposite of Bit Digital here, average force getting deeper to the downside. The fast ribbon pointing down. The slow ribbon flat at oversold and purple. Those are bad. Those things are bad. All those are bad. I didn't even look at it at the weekly because I was too concerned about that candle. Let's see what's the weekly. At the weekly, average force is continuing to get worse to the downside. Okay. You can see that the slow and fast oscillators are both pointing down and are both the bad colors. So Bitfarms right now does not look strong at this moment. That doesn't mean it will look like that forever, but if you're in it, if you're continuing to DCA, if you feel like these are good prices, just be aware that there is likely a little more pain to get to slog through on this one. All right, let's take a look at Mara. How's Mara? Mara also has a disgustingly ugly candle here. This is a super duper ugly candle, and I've got some calls on Mara right now that are just slapping me in the face, and I'm pretty upset about that. But we've got some silver linings here. We got average force is getting weaker to the downside, meaning it's strengthening upward. We've got the fast ribbon on the weekly. It is yellow. It's sideways, but it's yellow. And the slow is green. It is also sideways, but it is green. Those two things are good. Those are at odds, right? The ribbons, the stochastic ribbons, the momentum ribbons, however you want to call them, and the average force are at odds with this candle formation on Mara. That is very different from Bitfarms, where it was agreeing with the candle movement. On Mara, it is disagreeing with the candle movement, saying that this may have been too deep of a pullback right now at this time on Mara. Okay, that's the narrative we're getting there. That's what it's saying to us. So Mara, similar inverted head and shoulders to Cleanspark. What's it looking like on these guys? Let me turn off the drawings for a second. We're stuck. Yeah, I mean, we hit the 200 and the 21, and we're closing beneath all those and the 5. Like, those things are all very, very ugly. I don't like it. We could see Mara dip as deep as like $15. Any lower than $15, we're probably going to come back to the lows of like $14, $13. If we get above the 200-week moving average at 1913, we have room all the way up to 26.34 on the weekly for Mara. Let's take a look at the monthly for Mara. How's that look? That actually looks a bit like a falling wedge. I don't hate that. Okay, but I do hate a few things. Average force is getting worse to the downside. That sucks. That needs to change like this month. Okay, that's got to change like this month, or it's going to have a bad time. The momentum ribbons here are both the bad color. The slow one is sideways, which isn't bad. It's just kind of neutral there. And the fast one is pointing down, which is bad, which means that we're probably going to see a little more downside before we see a rip up, at least from a monthly perspective, which means we might dip down to like $14, $13, maybe even $13 on Mara before we see it come rocketing back up and do a move back up to $37 for Christmas, which it very well could do. I am looking at what I think could potentially be, let me get through some of that wick there, which could potentially be a bit of a falling wedge. It's a really ugly one though, so I'm not really going to say that that's it. That's really not it. We are still kind of in this ascending channel though. Still kind of in this ascending channel. We need to get back into it, and to get back into it, we really need to get it back above $19. Honestly, we really got to get above this most traded zone here around this $19. We're bunching up here a lot right here. I really want to see Mara turn around. The weekly is at odds with the candle move. The monthly is agreeing with it. So it is kind of in indecision at this moment for Mara as to whether or not we're really going to jump up or come back down for that one. So Mara looking a little indecisive. I don't like the candle. I do like the weekly momentum movements, but I don't like the candles on Mara. Mara is, I think we're probably going to see some pain in the majority of the Bitcoin mining space until the election is over. And then depending on who wins, we might see a significant pump versus, maybe a less healthy pump, but a pump all the same. We're going to see it regardless after the election. All right, the weekly. Ooh, that's not great for Riot. Riot came up, hit the 200-week moving average, rejected down, but it is above the 21-day moving average. This is probably the strongest chart I've seen so far. You see average force is getting smaller to the downside. That's fantastic. Both the slow and the fast ribbons here are pointing up and are the proper colors for good movement. That's what we want to see. And they're both getting wider. That is also fantastic. I would not be surprised to see it next week, possibly see Riot come right back up to that 200-week moving average at 1088 and maybe even get above it, maybe even peak above it next week. If we close above that next week, top ATR band here at $13, here we come, assuming it holds it that week after as well. Riot might actually be the best performer here right now, and that kind of concerns me. I don't like that at all. I'm not a fan of Riot. If you've been watching for a while, I'm really not their fan. But Yeah, I've got to give credit where credit is due. They are looking the strongest out of all of their peers so far. Let's take a look at their monthly. How'd their monthly go? Their monthly is not as good. Okay, average force is getting worse, but if it gets better this month, if this month prints a slightly less terrible average force there, it gets a smaller pink line, and the ribbons here stay yellow and green. Yellow and green, if they stay yellow and green, yeah, we might conquer the 21 month moving average, which is at 1053, and sometime around, I would say Christmas, I'd say our peak could be about $16, which isn't really a full double up, but it's pretty close. And if you can get that in less than 60 days, that's pretty fantastic. So yeah, Riot is actually breaking, and it's breaking out of a descending channel right here. See this channel right here? It's breaking out of that. We hit the middle. Look at these technicals. We hit the middle of this much larger descending channel and rejected there. And we're creating now in November this disgusting little doji candle here. But that has a whole month to play out now. We still have 29 days. Last month it was up 24.53%, by the way. I didn't do that on all of them. I apologize. You saw them if you were watching. You can go back and pause and look. All right, Iren. How's Iren doing this week? I don't like that. Oh, I don't like that at all. The only thing I like about this is that the momentum here is at odds, just like with Mara, okay? We are seeing something of a rising wedge forming now, which I don't care for. Don't care for that at all. You can see like here, and let me get this over there, and about, there it is. Okay, and like this, right? The fact that we rejected up here, right at my line 2, hit my line like with perfection and then rejected. I don't like that. Almost all the way back down to the white line. I really don't like that. But that candle is at odds with the average force and the momentum. Okay, the momentum ribbons, the stochastic ribbons, they are the right color pointing in the right direction. So this could turn around. That could have been a false breakdown that we're looking at right here. But that candle is ugly. That candle is bad. We could see ourselves come back down and get pinned to the 21-week moving average at 855 for a little while. But we are above the 5, the 21, and the 200. So that is really good on the weekly. In terms of how high we might go on this recent run, I wouldn't be surprised to see this. My personal target for like the Christmas season is between $17 to $19. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for around that. Now, if we lose, honestly, oof, man, if we lose 850, which I should take this and move it down there. But if we lose 850, yeah, I wouldn't be, we'd hit the 200-week moving average. We might even go lower and find ourselves back down at like $6 again. That would suck. That would suck real bad. Let's take a look at the monthly for Iren. How's the monthly for Iren? It's not great. It's really not great. So it hasn't really been around long enough to get a lot of stuff on the monthly. But we're above the 5. We're above the 21. Those are all good things. We went from the top into the 21 and up again. This might just be the area where we flag until we come all the way back up to the top of the ATR band again, which is, oh, look at that. So conveniently right at the bottom of my target zone, which is set between $17 to $19. Corz. How's Corz doing? Corz is unstoppable. Okay, maybe not completely unstoppable, but look at that. That is so juicy. Basically, anytime this thing, if this thing comes back down to the 21-week moving average at 1060, 1050, at 1050, that is a buy right there. As long as it doesn't break beneath it, that is a buy right there. And it would likely quickly come right back up to the top ATR band at 1444. So it would hit like, that'd be an easy $4 swing on Corz if it hits 1050. I might even jump in on that action if it does. So let's look at the monthly for Corz. It's gonna be like 4 candles. It's just straight up, just a straight up line, just straight up. It might come down to the 5, yeah, to the 5, which is at 1144. It might wick down beneath that a little bit and then take off. It's only had 4 red candles in its whole existence right now, and this one's not even done yet that it's on right now for the monthly. So Corz just looks like a friggin' animal, just an animal. Let's take a look at Wulf. Wulf was down 5% today on the weekly. I don't hate that. I don't hate that on the weekly. I wouldn't be super surprised. Honestly, I don't hate that at all. Okay, so the candle is bad, kind of, but again, just like with Mara, just like with Iren, the momentum is at odds with that candle movement. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised at all to see this thing come down to the 5, or the 5 come up to it, where it currently is, and then just continue on higher. I would not be surprised at all by that. Maybe even we come down to like 494, catch this base right here. You see where I'm at from like August, that base right there, catch that base at 494-ish, maybe wick to that, which is where the 21 will be in like 2 weeks. And then from there, we just carry on upward with Wulf. I would not be surprised at all to see that. I really don't see this breaking down unless we get underneath 383 for Wulf. Wulf is just strong. To the upside for Wulf. Honestly, for Christmas time, here we go, right here. I'm looking for like 1129 for like 870 to like $11. Okay, that's my range right there. 870 to $11. That's what I'm looking at for Christmas. I would like to see that happen. And that is kind of how I'm feeling about Wulf, that it could potentially do something like that, like come in to hit like that $9 to $11 range for Wulf. Let's take a look at the monthly. How's the monthly looking? Let me turn off drawings because that's all disgusting. We hit the 200, but we didn't fully reject off of it. Look at this fast ribbon. That's just a straight line up. You see something like this, anytime that pinches like that right here, and on there on the monthly, that's a buy, baby, and just rise it all and up again. Look at that average force just building on top of it, just building blocks bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, making that huge wedge. This thing is, Wulf is really strong. I really wish I would have watched Wulf earlier. Wulf is strong. I would not be surprised. Yeah, Wulf could break out pretty good here. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see it at this top ATR band at 955. I wouldn't even be super surprised if it wicked up to even $14. Very, very quickly. Would not surprise me. This thing, it looks just unstoppable, just like Corz, but even better, honestly, to a certain extent, because it's got a lot more history for me to look at. Wulf looks great. Let's take a look at Hut. How's Hut looking? Hut, ooh, okay, so, you know, it's similar to Wulf, It was actually up last week, 7%, that's good, at odds with a lot of its peers. I do not like that wick on top, that really big wick on top, that inverted hammer at the top of the move, I don't love. I feel like that means that we're going to come down to the 5, maybe even the 21, just like with Wulf. Would not be surprised by that. We completed this inverted head and shoulders here on Hut. We completed the inverted head and shoulders there on Hut. It's done. That's done. That pattern is done. There's no more juice left in that pattern. We need to make a new one. And that new pattern is probably going to be something like a bull flag, where we come back down into the 5, maybe even tap the 21, maybe hit like 12, $13, maybe hit like $13, and then from there, see ourselves crawling back up to the top of this ascending channel here. Let's take a look at the monthly. Monthly looks good too. My only issue with the monthly is that the slow, it may be green, but it's pinned flat in oversold condition, which means that this fast one, if it is to curl over, just like down here, right? It went up and curled over. We could find ourselves back at the lows, and the lows would be 877 on this one. So that sucks. But the average force is on our side. The average force is on our side. But remember, it went from 2280 all the way down to 610 while the momentum of the average force was getting stronger to the upside. But the fast stochastic pinched, right? Gave us a pinch, and then a severe drop as that slow ribbon was pinned in the oversold. So if this thing flips over, if this ribbon, the fast one, rolls over 877, here we come. If it does not roll over, if it keeps charging on up, yeah, I'm looking at the top of this channel here around like $25, $26 for Hut. That's what I'm looking at on the monthly there. This is actually a really nice accumulation zone right here. We've been in this accumulation zone between 1932 and $6 for a long time. If we can break out and start closing candles, honestly, even just above the 200-month moving average, honestly, we just closed 1-2 candles above the 200-month moving average at 1807. Hut is likely to come all the way back up to its all-time highs. It's gonna make a run for those. I mean, first, obviously, it's gonna hit 33, then it's gonna hit 46, then it's gonna hit 60. All those areas are gonna be speed bumps, but it will try to push through them. Cifr. Cifr, yeah, no, not bad. We got a doji, we got the momentum going the right way. I'm not too upset about this. This inverted head and shoulders I've got here is not completely played out yet. It could move up to it could still move up to like 627, maybe even 650 before that's got no more juice left, and we need a new bullish pattern. But yeah, no, Cifr looks good. A lot like Hut, looks good. On Cifr, I would be looking for Christmas. Honestly, probably $8. I don't know if it's going to go any higher than $8 for that one. It hasn't made a new higher high like that in quite a while here, so I'd be looking for it. I know this is enough liquidity, but I think it's going to struggle at that $8 level, Cifr. Let's take a look at the monthly. The monthly is actually not great. The monthly, the average force is getting weaker, but we see we got a pinch here and a move up to yellow on the fast momentum ribbon, so we might be all right here. We're above the 21 on the monthly. We might be okay. This might flag, and if this on the average force, if we get a yellow one, yeah, we're taking off, and we're likely to hit that $8 without too much difficulty. And then from there, if we surpass $8, I wouldn't see us going any higher than 10 unless something drastic changes with the stock or something drastic occurs with the stock. Some big news. Hive. Let's take a look at Hive. Okay, Hive. It rejected. All right, so Hive rejected off that trend line. I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Momentum is kind of on its side here to move upward and is at odds with that candle. But if next week we can't see ourselves get above that, we've got a date with the 200-week and the 21-week moving average, which is down at 332 and 328. So if we don't get above this next week, this trend line, we got a date with those below. That's what that's telling me right now. It's just Hive has been in this absolute just trend of not being able to make a higher high for quite a while. And that big rejection there tells me that it's probably going to get worse right now. Yeah. Look at the monthly last month. So we came up, right? Big doji, came above the 21, couldn't hold it. And then we got pushed right back below the 21 moving average. I wouldn't be surprised to see this thing go worse. Yeah, the slow is pinned in oversold territory. This thing is very weak, anemic looking, trying to go upward on the monthly, on the fast ribbon. The average force is kind of just flattening out on Hive. I don't really see anything I like in Hive. Now, this is a big accumulation zone, and you get like 1-2 institutions coming through, and Hive would absolutely explode up, find itself at $7, $8, $9, $10 pretty easily if just like 2 or 3 institutions were like, oh, you'll throw $1 billion at that. But until then, I really don't see anything I like on the Hive chart, unfortunately. Let's take a look at Slnh, the lotto play. How is the lottery doing for us? Wow, that's very tiny. How is the lotto play? Come on, come on down. So we're back into the accumulation zone. That sucks. This is ugly. This is actually really ugly. The momentum agrees with this candle move, so we're probably going to come back down and visit 278, 280 on Slnh, unfortunately. But that's the lotto play. That's the nature of it. I'll play it back down there. I might even add a little bit down here at the very bottom here. Not very much, but a little bit. And I'd be looking for that move around Christmas up to like $7 or so, because remember, the rise of Bitcoin floats all boats. It doesn't matter if they are very good stocks or not. Everything will go up with Bitcoin. And with, as we reignite inflation, everything's going to go up. That's just how it's going to be. It's liquidity floats all boats. So, we're all going to look like geniuses pretty soon here. But the question is how, which of us are going to look the most like geniuses with the largest increase in our bags compared to where they are today. Like, all these things are going to go up. Like, as long as Bitcoin goes up, all these go up. The question is, which ones are going to go up more than the others? That's all we want to know. That's all we're trying to figure out here. Let's take a look at the monthly here for Slnh. Slnh, the monthly is, yeah, it also doesn't look good. Average force is going up, but look at this disgusting ribbon here. That's bad. I don't like anything about that. Anyways, yeah, this looks just like, okay, we got a really wicked inverted head and shoulders here on the monthly. And that would, if that played out, wow, if that played out, we could... There's no way we could go up to 182 if that inverted head and shoulders played out. Maybe just 97. I don't know. There's no way that's happening. That's ridiculous. Could maybe 63 is not completely out of the realm of possibility. It is a very small company. Like, you get one, you get one finance bro in there with a couple $100 million, and we're back at $60 on Slnh. So maybe. But anyways, that's all I've got for you today. Please like, comment, subscribe, share this video. Check out the Trade Cave store, link in the description, as well as the channel bio, and have a profitable day.